And today we are really happy to have you on our platforms.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here as well. I can't wait for people to learn more about health and wellness.
Yes.
Because to me, I'm very passionate about it. And the reason is, when it comes to life, you can have anything in life.
Yeah.
But if you don't have your health, you basically don't have much.
Yes.
Because if you think about some of the wealthiest people that we've lost along the way, they were not able to use their wealth to actually bring themselves back. Because if that was the case, then wangekuwa wamefanya.
Exactly.
But it means that if you have your health, then you have everything. But unfortunately for us as human beings, what we have, we don't value so much. Tunaangalia what the other person has and we're like, yes, I have my health, but it would be nice if I had that mansion and that Range Rover and that whatever. There's nothing wrong with having all this stuff. But the thing is that your health is the most important. Because when you have it, then you can be able to now enjoy these things that come to you. The blessings that God, like abundantly keeps giving you. And I feel like health is the most important thing that we have. And we need to guard it. We need to make sure that we keep taking care of our health.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fatuma. Wanasema you don't know what you got until it's gone. So don't wait until your wellness is gone. Alafu ndio useme, oh wow, I wish I had it. So today Fatuma is with us to, tell us about, the wellness. And in this case, it's about emotion, physical, and, spiritual as well. But before tuende uko, before tufike wellness, tujue why do we need that good health and how we should check it. Who is Fatuma Mohammed?
Oh, wow. Let me just say, Fatuma Mohammed is a female who is very supportive. I'm also, as you said, a media personality. So I've been on TV for about 14, 15 years. So I've worked on about at 4 different TV stations doing TV shows. And other than that, I'm also a voice actor. So I do a lot of voicing. But, with everything that I was doing when it comes to the media, I was very, very unwell for a while. So for very many years, I was very sick. And even in my line of work, I was not able to really enjoy what I was doing because my health was always just coming in the way. And because of my health complications and what I went through, after I got better, I felt like there's a reason why God allowed me to get better. And I felt like the reason was so that I can be able to now teach more people about how they can take care of their health. Because genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I don't want anyone to go through what I went through. Because I know that I consider myself a strong person, but when I was very sick, that changed because it actually affects you mentally. You start really thinking negative thoughts. You feel like you'll never be able to get through what it is that you're going through. So even to the listeners who are listening right now and those who are watching, if you're going through anything difficult, just remember it's just at that moment that you're feeling down. It's going to be over at some point. But when you're really, really going through it, that's usually where the lesson comes from. You're going to understand why God made you go through what you went through, so that afterwards you can serve people or you can just make sure that people are okay and they don't get to go through that.
Thank you so much, Fatuma. Mimi naitwa Ralia Gabo. Lakini the middle name is Ralia Mohammed. So when you say Fatuma Mohammed,
we're sisters.
I was baba yangu aliacha msichana mwingine hapo nyuma.
Ni mimi.
My younger sister anaitwa Fatuma Mohammed.
No, oh my gosh, that's so nice.
So after here, inakaa we will either go to our parents, or to the hospital to check the DNA. Which one is easier? The DNA or the parents?
Send kwa DNA na kwa parents.
Oh,
okay. 100% sure.
Tukwe 100% sure. So we either take you in, or you take us in.
Whichever way, I'll be happy because I'm happy to gain a sister, and I'm sure you would be able to take me as your sister in any way. So I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, Fatuma. Fatuma. Why before atatufike why tell us about Wellness KE.
So Wellness KE is a platform that I founded because it is a platform that gives people information about how they can take care of themselves. So when I say taking care of themselves, I mean physically, I mean emotionally, I mean spiritually, also intellectually, also socially. And it is a platform that offers free information to anyone and everyone. So whether it is Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, this information is out there so that anyone who hops onto Wellness KE can be able to learn how they can take care of themselves in a very simple way. Because, for many years, I would say the wellness industry has kind of painted or portrayed wellness as something that is very, very expensive, very difficult for people to achieve.
Yes.
And for me, I would say I achieved wellness when I was actually at my lowest, when I was not able to work and have a lot of money,
Yes.
when I was not able to have all the time in the world to actually make it to the gym, when I was not able to walk, because for a while I was not able to walk, but I still had to find ways to take care of myself.
Yeah.
So Wellness KE as a platform, I founded it really after I went through my health complications, and I really wanted for people to see you can be able to actually achieve wellness. You can take care of your health and your well-being without being rich, without having all the time in the world. You just have to follow simple steps. So allow me to just say this.
Sure.
When you ask people what wellness really means to them,
Yeah.
what I found out is most people watakwambia, if you ask them, do you feel like you're well? You know, they say, yeah, I think I'm well because I'm not really sick. I'm not going to the hospital. So really what people understand about wellness is the fact that if you're not sick, then you must be well.
Yeah.
But that's just like on a basic, maybe English point of view. But really, if you want to understand what wellness really means, it is that ability to now be fully aware of whether you're taking care of yourself physically. And by physically, I mean, are you eating food that is healthy for your body and is nutritious for you? By physically, I also mean, do you have any kind of physical activity that you partake in every day, whether you're going to take the stairs instead of the lift, or you're going to take a walk in the evening after work, or fasting in the morning, you have a workout that you put on YouTube and you work out, then you take care of yourself physically. Also, are you taking care of yourself emotionally? Meaning, what are you doing to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health? Are you encouraging yourself to make good relationships with people so that you can have good friends around you? Do you have also good positive thoughts that run through your mind? And if you do have negative ones, are you the kind of person that can say, these are just negative thoughts, they're just visitors, they will leave, and everything is going to be okay? Do you seek, ways that you can make yourself emotionally well? That's important.
Yeah.
Also socially. Social wellness is something that not many people have thought about, meaning, are you very aware of your surroundings and what people are doing in society? Do you give back in terms of charity, or do you take a moment to find out, even if you don't have money, you can go online and help people sign petitions so that maybe they can care for the environment or they can care for others. Find out ways that you can be able to have good social relationships, and also having good social relationships with people, whether it's family members, whether it's friends, whether it's your colleagues, whatever. That's very important. It's also important for us to be aware of our intellectual wellness, meaning what is it that you teach yourself, or do you try and learn something new, And I always give the example of myself. Every year I try and learn something new. The other year I decided to learn French. The year before that I trained in martial arts. So whatever it is that I try to do, I make sure that I'm learning something new. It doesn't have to cost you money. You can just go on YouTube and watch something and learn along the way. Or if you really like, if you're a graphic designer, you can learn something new along, your line of work.
Yes.
So intellectually, are you reading? Are you exposing yourself to content that's going to also make your mind nourished?
Okay.
Spiritually as well, are you prayerful? Are you also aware of the fact that you as a human being, you are more soul than you are the body? Meaning, if I don't get to meet the physical Ralia,
Yes.
and we are talking on the phone, without me seeing you, I need to feel your energy, and I know if you're a good person, if you have good vibes with you.
Yeah.
So are you that kind of person to people? And if not, what are you going to do to change that? So spiritually, are you the kind of person that really finds yourself in a place of just being centered and understanding that you are a soul with a body on top? So you're walking around on this earth, but then again, you have to remember that, because even religion teaches us that we have to be more aware of the fact that we need to be more spiritually awake. That's the only way we're going to live this life, and it's not going to depress us and stress us, And so if you think about all these factors of wellness, then everything that I've mentioned, if you've put a tick, then you are well.
You are well,
okay?
yes.
But if not, then that means we're all going to have to try and find ways that we can work on each and every aspect of wellness. Because I promise you, if you think about each aspect and you do something about it, you will achieve wellness. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Fatuma. Today I'm going to sit down
Yeah.
and write all that wellness and see whether I can tick,
Yeah,
even one
it's a
among
good- yes,
among it.
which is
Because
okay.
I think I'm in the list of the people who say, yeah, since I'm not visiting a doctor,
Yeah.
I'm well.
Which is okay. I mean, I found that out about so many people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that. It's just that that's what we're used to.
Yes.
So it's what I discovered was, for me, how I ended up now saying, okay, I'm on my journey of achieving wellness, was when now I started looking at each aspect. Then I'll be like, okay, physically, am I doing something right? Okay, Sawa, I'm eating healthy, I'm taking care of myself, I work out, and on days when I haven't worked out, I make sure I take the stairs up the rooftop, I come back, I have some level of physical activity
Yes.
for circulation and stuff, because it's important for us to take care of our bodies, in the sense that this is a body that God has gifted you. It's basically like, if I was to gift you something right now, I would really expect for you to take care of it. That's the only way I
Yes.
can gift you something else, right?
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
don't take care of it, then I'll know, okay, you're probably not the right person for me to gift.
Because you didn't even take care of the
Exactly.
first
So
one.
for me, I think of our health and our bodies in the same way, even our souls. I think of it in the same way that, God has decided, let me gift you with this body, but then I want for you to take care of it. That's the
Okay.
only way I'll gift you more.
Okay.
I'll give you more health. I'll give
Yes.
you more mental stability. I'll give you all these other things. So it's important that we all just take care of ourselves in that way.
Asante
Yeah.
sana, Fatuma.
Yeah.
Sitting down
Yeah.
and saying that from today I want to check my physical wellness,
Yeah.
my emotional wellness,
Yeah.
and even my spiritual wellness. What inspired you to do all that? Just sit down and say, from today onwards, I am, as Fatuma, I'm going to
Yeah.
check my physical, mental, and
And
everything
start
that
that
is in
whole
life.
journey.
Yes.
Well, I would say that first of all, the main reason is because I was unwell.
Yes,
Okay, so
yeah.
going through sickness for about 10 years was really hard for me, and at that time, it really messed up with my mind, because I consider myself, like I said, I consider myself as a strong person, but now it had gotten to a place where I didn't feel strong anymore. I felt very vulnerable, and I also felt like it was something I was never going to be able to get through. Now, the thing is that, whenever you go through anything in life, you always hear people tell you, you never tested, further than your limits. Okay. But at that time, I was like, okay, this is over my limits. I can't take it. I'm very sick. I don't know what to do. And God really needs to do something about it. But you know what? Going through sickness actually made me realize that there's an importance. There's an importance in me taking care of myself on a wholesome level,
Yes.
not just making sure that the sickness is gone, but even after the sickness is gone, I don't want to go back there anymore. Okay, I don't want to go back to being sick. I don't want for my life to be debated by doctors so that they can decide whether I have 5 days, 100 days to go, or
Every
50 days to
month,
go.
yeah.
I want for me to be the one who is in charge of my life.
Yes.
So that factor of wanting to take charge of my life was very important to me.
Yes.
And so I did a lot of research, and I discovered that in order for you to achieve that, you have to think of yourself and kind of dissect and see yourself as you as Ralia. Think of yourself. Do you have good relationships with people? And if not, then there's something that's causing you stress.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
And if there is something that's causing you stress, then how are you dealing with this stress?
Yes.
And then as you deal with this stress, how are you going to ensure that it doesn't happen again?
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Fatima. Let's take just a short break.
Yeah.
As you come back,
Yeah.
we would really want to know. There was a journey.
Yeah.
That really made you, go and sit down and think about wellness.
Yeah.
So we would really want to go down with you that
Awesome.
journey,
No
understand, where it started,
Yeah.
how it took you, how long it even took you to, just come up with the All Wellness KE.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That is Fatuma that we are having, but we're taking a short break. Tukirudi, we will, want to understand the journey. She was unwell, so tunataka kujua hapa alijua aje that she's unwell, and after that, what were the measures that alichukua ndio yenye imemfikisha hapo hivyo kwa Wellness KE. Thank you so much, dear viewers. Kama kawaida, our pages are still the same. Twitter, Instagram is Sema_radio, and then we have Facebook and Twitter as Sema Radio. Sema Radio, wewe ndio kusema.
Power Deck with Ralia Gabo.
The journey. From having health problems,
Yeah.
kurudi kwa nyumba, sitting down and trying to understand, how wellness should be tackled
Yeah.
from your perspective. All this. Give us this journey.
Well, let me just start off by saying for my journey, basically, I had fibroids for about 10 years. So it started off with something I felt in my abdomen, yeah? So it felt like ni kama venye ukigusa tumbo, unafeel ni kama there's a stone in there. There's something really hard inside there. So the thing is that when I felt that in my abdomen, I really was confused. Sikuwa najua, what could this be? I had no idea about fibroids. I'd never heard of it. So I just immediately just thought, okay, this is really scary. I need to find out what this could be. And as always, you know, like the first thing you do, you tell your mom or your family member. So I told my mom, and then she told me then it's important that I go to the hospital and get it checked. So what I did was I went into the hospital. Nikaamua niende nikaambie daktari what I had. So I went into a general hospital first of all, and then the general hospital told me, okay, what you'll have to do is go and see a gynecologist, ambaye ndiye daktari wa wanawake, si ndio? So I went to see a gynecologist, and when I went there, he was like, okay, it's important that we do a scan just to check what could be wrong. So I went into the radiology department, ambao pale ndo wanakupiga picha ndo waone what is really going on. Kufika pale, what they did was something called an ultrasound, ambayo ultrasound yenyewe ni kama vile mtu mwanamke ambaye ako na mimba, vile ambapo wanavocheck, sio? Wanakuwekea ile gel, wanakuangalia. So it was basically the same thing. When they checked, wakapiga zile picha, when I came out, nikarudi kwa daktari kukaa pale, he was handed my results. And that's when he told me that I have fibroids. Sasa kufika pale, mimi I was very confused because I was like, okay, what could this be? Sina habari ambayo yani naweza kujieleza niseme, okay, imetokea na wapi, or what is this illness that is really something new I have no idea about. And the moment he told me I had fibroids, I remember I just took it all in first because I didn't want to react. Then he asked me, what symptoms have you had? He had a list, yeah? So alikuwa ananiuliza, have you had regular periods? I said, yes. Do you have pain when you have your periods? I said, no. Do you feel dizzy? Like, could you be anemic or something like that? I said, no. So akaniuliza maswali yote. Kufika mwisho, akaniambia, okay, you have these fibroids, lakini you don't have the symptoms. So what he told me was my fibroids were asymptomatic, meaning I did not have the symptoms, but I had the growth, So the moment he said that, he told me what we're going to do is we're just going to wait and see whether it's going to develop into something or not. Because if you don't have the symptoms, then it's not a threat. So the moment he said that, I was like, okay, then I'm going to listen to the doctor, Sindo, because he knows what's best. Now, the thing is, what I would like to explain to the listeners and the viewers is that my fibroid was the size of a pea, yeah? So it was very tiny. So ukienda hospitali, normally when they check these fibroids, they'll tell you the size of the fibroid according to fruit. Sometimes they tell you it's the size of a grapefruit. They tell you it's the size of a pea. They tell you it's the size of... So wanatumia ile ndo uelewe ukubwa wake. Sasa vile alivonieleza mimi akaniambia it's the size of a pea, it was almost like he was saying it's really tiny, you have no symptoms, so you'll be fine.
There's nothing alarming.
So mi nikamsikiliza, I left the hospital. I remember I went into the washroom first. It was a lot for me. So I was really emotional. I was crying, and then I called my mom. I told her, this is what they told me. And she said, okay, I'm so sorry, just get home first, and then we're going to figure it out. So when I went home, I was really confused by the diagnosis, but because there was no medication or anything, I just went on living my life as the doctor advised. And as I continued living my life was when things started getting really bad, because the fibroids were growing in size, and then they started growing also in number. So it wasn't just one tiny fibroid. Ilienda ikakuwa kubwa, alafu zingine sasa zikaanza kugrow. Sasa mimi mwenyewe ndo nikachukua ile jukumu nikajiambia I have to search for information and find out more about fibroids. Because it's almost like the doctor, and not to blame him, but it's almost like he didn't give me any information. He didn't tell me where this could have come from or why. He just told me, you're fine, continue living with your life. Uendelee na maisha, you'll be fine. So at this point, I find it very important to speak to the women out there so that they can understand fibroids. So fibroids are a benign tumor. Tuseme it is a tumor ama growth ambayo ni ugonjwa ambao una affect wanawake pekee, sawa? So wanawake ambao wako katika childbearing years. So kama umepata damu yako ya mwezi au your menses, all the way to the point where you are just about to get your menopause, then you are someone who can possibly get fibroids. So because they affect a woman who is in their childbearing years, who is getting her menses, and that's how I can say if someone has a question who would really be susceptible to getting fibroids, it's a woman who is in their childbearing years. And also fibroids actually form in the uterus. So kwa kizazi cha mwanamke, in your uterus is where the fibroids are found. They can either be outside your uterus, they can be inside, or they can be within a wall, which is what they call the intramural. So my fibroid was actually on the outside, which was causing no harm. Apparently, that's what the doctor was telling me. So he was like, because it's outside, that's why you're not having the heavy menses and all of that. That's why you're not having the symptoms. So that's why he felt I should just continue living my life. So at this point, I can say that I felt like it was important for me to understand why we even have fibroids. Okay? Because if you go to every single doctor on the face of this earth, there's no doctor who will tell you what causes fibroids. Till today, there's no doctor. Hakuna uvumbuzi katika medicine ambayo wanaweza sema fibroids inakoziwa na kitu fulani. But what I can say as someone who has suffered from fibroids is that if your hormones are not in check, because you have estrogen and progesterone hormones, if your estrogen levels are higher than your progesterone, they call that estrogen dominance. Na hiyo sasa ndio inakuletea fibroids. Ama shida kama issues za monthly periods kuwa very heavy au irregular, maybe unapata leo kisha hupati tena, kisha unapata mwezi mwingine au unapata miezi miwili inapita hujapata periods. So estrogen dominance ama estrogen ikiwa nyingi sana, unapata hizi shida zina affect female reproductive health yako. So that's something very important wanawake wanafaa kuelewa, ya kwamba hormones zako zinaweza kusababisha pia wewe kuathirika na maradhi kama haya ambayo yana affect either kizazi chako ama your female reproductive system. With everything that I've gone through with my health, I feel like as women, we are going through a phase where we feel like we are empowered. But I feel as a woman, if your health is not a priority, then you're not empowered yet. Because if you walk into a hospital and a doctor still cannot be able to give you full information about what's really going on with your body, then that means we're messing with the very system that actually forms life. Because without a woman and her womb, we cannot have generations and future generations. If we don't care for women enough to actually make sure that we give them the right information and the right treatment and the right procedures, then we are actually messing with the very core of where, like our future generation is going to come from. And the reason why I'm very passionate talking about this is because yani mwanamke yote ambaye ameni approach me through all this that I'm doing, whenever they come to me and they tell me, I'm having this problem, I think I have fibroids, or I have PCOS, or I have cysts, or I'm getting irregular monthly periods. When you ask them, what has your doctor told you? Majority of the times, they're either put on some hormonal pill just so that they can kind of mess up their hormones. And it's almost like they're tricking the body to behave a certain way. But that's not proper treatment, because remember, the issue initially is hormonal. You have to find out ways that you can be able to balance your hormones so that your progesterone and estrogen can be at the same level. When they're at the same level, then you see that your body is going to change.
Thank you so much, Fatuma, for taking us down, your journey and the experiences, and how it, really took you yourself sacrifice to learn about fibroid, what it does and what it doesn't. Does fibroid have medication?
With fibroids, the thing is that what they do, they have different kinds of treatment.
Yes.
So let's say when they find out you have fibroids, the first thing they'll check if you have any symptoms. If you have no symptoms, they do like what they did with me. They'll tell you continue living your life.
Yes.
So that's one option they have.
Okay.
The second one is either they will check the size of the fibroid.
Yes.
If it is big enough to have to be removed, then they do something called a laparoscopy.
Yes.
It's a laparoscopic operation whereby they're not necessarily going to cut you open, but they're going to remove the fibroid. Yeah.
Okay.
They're not going to make an incision, basically, hawatakukata, but then they still get it removed.
Okay.
But then the fibroid has to be small enough for it to be removed. But then if it is bigger, then they do something called a myomectomy, which is a surgery now ambayo wanakukata kabisa, and then now they have to have them removed.
Okay.
So a myomectomy, actually, they have to make an incision. It's actually like it's considered a major operation. So you would have to go into the theater, they have to put anesthesia, and then they put you out and do the actual surgery.
Okay.
That's another option.
Yes.
Other than that, the last resort usually they do is called a hysterectomy, where they remove everything. They have to remove your womb. Sometimes they do a complete, they remove the uterus together with the ovaries.
Okay.
And usually at this point is when now it's like last resort and they have to remove everything.
Yes.
So all these modes of treatment, they're invasive treatments where they have to now go in and do something about it, yeah? But sometimes they do offer some kind of medication which also is supposed to like do something to your hormones so that it can trick your hormones into... Basically, what they do is, like, one doctor gave me that option, but I said no to it, and I'll share with your listeners.
Okay.
What he told me was there's an injection that they inject you, and this injection, nikama, it's supposed to trick your body into thinking you're going through menopause.
Okay.
Because fibroids affect you when you're in your childbearing years where you still have your menses. So he felt like if we put you in fake menopause, the fibroids will think you're going through menopause and they'll shrink. Okay. And when he gave me this option, I said no, because I asked him about the side effects. I wanted to know. And he was rushing. He was like, okay, your fibroids are really big, they're large and they're many, so we really have to do this. We have to shrink them so that I can now go in and remove them when they're already small. Okay. That way I don't have to make a very big cut.
Okay.
And I asked him what are the side effects, and he was telling me like, okay, maybe the menopause might take a while. Okay, even when we're trying to bring you back to normal, that might take a while.
Okay.
And then he was trying to explain so many things, and all I was hearing was, no, I'm not going to do this, because I don't think it is wise for you as a woman who is not going through menopause to actually trick your body into thinking it's going through that.
Yes.
So that's one of the treatments that they offer for fibroids, is that they actually inject you. The other reason why I did not want it also was because it was very costly. Each injection was cost about 12,500, and you had to get several in a month just so they can get your body to that point. And that's what the doctor had told me. And I felt like it's ridiculous. This too much money for you to even mess with my body and not be sure where we're headed with this. And mind you, this is a big hospital, a doctor who is well known. So for me, I felt this is just confusing to me. I didn't feel like it was the right option. So for anyone out there who might be going to see a doctor, they might be given that option as well. I don't think it is the right one, because I don't feel like something that is not natural. For me, I feel it's not right for you. It's not, if it's naturally occurring as menopause, then fine. But then somebody having to induce it for me, I feel it is not okay. So that's one of the treatments that they have. They also have some gels that they have that, kind of spike up your progesterone so that it matches your estrogen, and all these other modes of treatment.
Yes.
But everything has side effects.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to insist on your listeners. They have to know and ask all the questions. If your doctor has told you to do one thing, tell me 10 things that could go wrong. 10 things that could go wrong. And I want you to be honest. And I had to be very direct with my doctor and say, if I was your daughter, what would you tell me?
Yes.
What would you tell me to do? And I always use that. Even when I would get very sick and I was at a hospital, I used to say, if I was your child or your family member, what would you tell me?
Yeah.
And then they would say, okay, don't go with this, just do this. And I really wanted honesty, because a doctor is going to administer any kind of treatment, because honestly, they want you to be well. So they're going to try whatever they can to make sure that you're well, so that you don't go back there. But the truth is, you as a human being, and also as a woman, you have to also be inquisitive, ask the questions, and make sure that you get the right information. And also, what is very important, always get a second and third opinion. you'd rather go to 2 to 3 doctors who will give you 3 different answers so that you can choose, as opposed to going through one person and thinking that person is the only one that can get you through it.
Yes.
So always ask and get second and third opinion, and then make a decision and constantly pray, because God will send you the right doctor who is supposed to help you. He will send you the right people. He will give you the right environment that will give you healing, because if you don't pray and if you don't ask him, then you won't have the guidance. Because these doctors, yes, they have studied and they have practiced, but they also need God in order for them to do the right thing for you.
Yes.
And I can say for me, eventually when I had my surgery, the doctor that I got was God sent, because he did the right thing. He saved my life. He saved my womb. He gave me the opportunity to be healthy and to be well. After going through all these other doctors for 10 years, eventually towards the end is when I got the right one. But I kept on praying for the right doctor as well. So you want also to make sure that you keep having faith. And as you have this faith, keep taking care of yourself, as we mentioned. Eat healthy, take care of yourself. Make sure you check your stress levels, check your hormones. You can actually get that procedure done. You can actually go into a hospital and say, I want to check my hormones, and they will tell you where to go. You go to a doctor called an endocrinologist, that's a specialist. Yule sasa ndo anakufanyia ile test, anaangalia hormonal levels zako, na utajua sasa kama something is wrong or not. And if something is wrong, ask them like, what should I do? Once they give you the answers, remember that what they've given you is 40. Okay? Now you go out and look for your 60.
Yes.
And don't stop until you find the right information and you have faith in what it is that you have found, and then now make your next step.
It looks like Power Deck today is going to be, a 5-hour show because this is quite a lot of, information that we didn't heard. And, our listeners out there, I'm sure, or rather viewers, quite a lot of them are thinking, what is fibroid? How, what is even that? And, Fatma just said it affects women. And, we are at risk because whatever the food right now we are consuming, come on, it leads to one thing or the other. But I'm sure the viewers out there, they've already know what fibroid is, but they really want to know what are the cause, the symptoms. If I was to go and check and I found out the symptoms that you just said, what am I supposed to do as next, a woman? Yes.
Okay, maybe I can talk about the signs and symptoms so that for everyone out there can be able to understand.
Yes.
So like I said, since a fibroid is a growth, the first thing is when you press your abdomen, ukifinya tumbo hivi, you're going to feel something very hard up ndani. It feels like a stone or a pebble. Ukifinya, you feel like there's something very hard up ndani, and that's of course abnormal. So the moment you notice that, you could have fibroids. Now, second thing is you're going to have a protruding abdomen. So pale mahali ambapo tumbo yako, yani if normally you have a flat belly, it's going to be protruding somewhere. Itakuwa imetokea hivi kiasi. Yani mtu akikuangalia, especially the bigger the fibroid, the bigger the belly looks. So ukiwa umeona kwamba tumbo umefinya tumbo, kasikia there's something very hard there, also you feel like your tummy actually is protruding in a way, and that's not normal, then you could be having fibroids. Something else is your menstrual periods. So your menstrual periods could be very heavy. Very, very heavy. So unapata mtu anapata very heavy flow, and also prolonged. Unapata maybe for 7 days or more than 7 days. And also because you're losing all this blood, you could be anemic. You're low on iron. So that's another thing. You get very dizzy, you're low on iron, you're very pale skin. That could be a sign of fibroids. Also irregular periods. Irregular meaning labda napata mwezi huu, mwingine sipati periods zangu, mwezi wa 3 sipati, mwingine napata, unaona? Which is not normal, because you're supposed to get your monthly periods every month, because it's a cycle. So if you find that this is happening, you could be having fibroids. As I said, fibroids are caused by hormonal imbalances. And I really want for women to know how they can find out whether they have hormonal imbalances. The first thing you'll notice is women who have hormonal imbalances get to have some kind of facial hair in a way. So unapata either there's hair, they get to have facial hair under their chin, whether ni moja tu ama mbili, it always appears every month or every other time. Also, gray hair, even if you're not older.
Yeah.
Okay, you're young, but then you still have gray hairs. That's one of the signs and symptoms of hormonal imbalances.
Yes.
And hormonal imbalance goes hand in hand with fibroids, because when your estrogen levels are very high, that's when you can actually get fibroids.
Yeah.
So there are some people who have asymptomatic fibroids, meaning they have no symptoms, like what I had initially. Yeah. But remember, the one thing you will feel is the hard kind of feeling when you press your belly.
Yeah.
Here, ukifeel it's not normal, you must go and get yourself checked.
Yeah.
Now, I really want for people to understand that when you found out, sasa, umeona kwamba either your monthly periods are irregular, or they are heavy, or you have this protruding abdomen, or you felt something in there na unashuku, mimi naeza kuwa na fibroids.
Yeah.
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the hospital. It is important you go to the hospital, because you need to go and get yourself checked. And the doctor you go to is called a gynecologist. Sasa gynecologist ndo daktari wa wanawake. So find out daktari yoyote ambaye ni gynecologist, ama utauliza ule daktari wako, ule general physician, muulize kama he will recommend a gynecologist for you. And once he does that, then you will go and see the gynecologist. Ukifika pale, mueleze daktari zile symptoms zako. The first thing atakuuliza, if you've ever had an ultrasound or a checkup. Ukisema no, then he's going to say it is important that we do a checkup. Now the checkup is called an ultrasound. Inafanana vile vile kama mwanamke akiwa na mimba, vile wanaeka ile gel wanaangalia. That's how they're going to check for fibroids. They're going to put that on your abdomen, and then they're going to check with that machine. And then ni kama wanapiga picha vile. Ukimaliza pale, yule radiologist ambaye amefanya ile procedure atapatia daktari zile results. Ukirudi, daktari atakuelezea kama amepata kuona fibroids, atakwambia tumeona fibroids. Atakwambia we found out that you have fibroids, and he or she is going to diagnose you with fibroids.
Yes.
Now the questions you have to ask here are very important.
Yeah.
Ask him how many are they? Kama ni moja, what size is it? He's going to use the reference of a fruit, like a grapefruit or whatever. He's going to tell you it is this size. Ndo upate visually, upate kuelewa ni size gani.
Okay.
Muulize inapatikana wapi? Iko nje ya kizazi chako? Is it on the outside of the uterus? Is it on the inside? Or is it on the walls of the uterus, which is the intramural fibroids? He will tell you. He will be in a position to tell you. Once he's told you that, muulize, what are my options now? What am I supposed to do?
Thank you so much, Fatma. We really appreciate all the information umetupatia. Tunashukuru tena sana, because I'm sure this one is going to help someone out there.
I hope so too.
My viewers are going to sit down and watch this, because this concerns quite a lot of women out there. We take our wellness every day for granted. Yes. And I just said a few minutes ago, you don't know what you got until it's gone. So the day you are on the bedridden sick, that's when you say, oh, I wish. So today, tunakupatia you, a chance of you not saying tomorrow, I wish I knew that this was done and this way. Fatuma, you said quite a lot, today on women and wellness. But nataka tu bado you come back and tell us one final thing. Alafu usalimie watu pia.
No problem.
Yes.
No problem. I would like to do that.
That is your camera.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm really grateful for being here. I really want for every woman out there to make sure that they get to take care of themselves, and not just women, even men. You also need to take care of your health, because we all want to live this life, and we want to live a good quality life.
Yes.
So if you want more information on how you can take care of yourself, make sure that you follow us on our social media platforms. On Instagram, it's at well_NESKE. On Twitter at KE Wellness, and on Facebook, Wellness KE, on YouTube, Wellness KE. So you can be able to send us a message and tell us if you want any information on how you can improve your life, make your life better. Just send us a message and we'll be very happy to help you. And I really want for everyone to live a good quality life, because with life, it's not about the quantity, the number of years, it's also the quality, the kind of life you're going to live. You could live till 100, but then if you're going to live to 100 lakini afya yako haiko sawa, then you didn't necessarily live a good life. You want to live a life where your quality of life is also really good, and it is all within your control. You can actually change that.
Thank you so much. That has been Fatma Mohammed for you out there, Maze.